Hello, today we are reviewing the Triumph Speed 400.
Hey.
Oh, fuck. Speed.
Hello and welcome to the Auto Story.
Today we will be reviewing the Triumph Scrambler 400X,
Sorry about the confusion earlier. This is clearly not the Speed 400.
even though it actually looks the same.
Yes, but only if you ignore the headlamp grille, those knuckle guards, the higher seat, taller suspension, even higher ground clearance.
You make an interesting point.
You see, back in the old days even your grandfather was probably too young to remember, British bikers would regularly challenge each other to go from point A to point B as fast as they could. It didn't matter what route they took, so they did what any of us would do. Strip a perfectly good bike and mod it to work best on both tarmac and, well, anywhere else. Now, a lot of companies tried mimicking this by taking their own street bikes and slapping the Scrambler label on it. Husky's Vitpillion has the SWAT Pillin, Ducati's Monster has the Scrambler, and the BMW R90 has the R90. The only problem here is that a larger tire or a rugged looking frame does not a Scrambler make. Now, common sense dictates that you take an already established go anywhere machine and strip it for parts, to fit the aesthetic. That means using an ADV. Only one manufacturer has done that so far, and that's Royal Enfield and their Himalayan Scram 411.
What Triumph has done, however, is a fairly decent middle ground. They've taken a street bike, i.e. the Speed 400, and they've turned it into an ADV, minus the unnecessary bulk. Et voila! Scrambler 400X.
What's with the big history lesson though?
I thought a little bit of context would be good.
For yapping, let me take it out for the ride. So now that we are on the road, let's actually talk about the bike. So probably a good place to start would be the riding stance. So this has a very commanding position with a very tall seat and wide high handlebars. So for someone as tall as me, this feels really comfortable. It's not a reach to reach the handlebars, so you don't need to bend forward to reach it. And the foot pegs are at a very relaxed position as well. So overall, you can actually keep on going on riding the Scrambler without having to break your back for it.
Now, of course, this is a Scrambler, so you expect it to be a little off-road friendly. Standing up, you find that the handlebars are at just the right position, the foot pegs aren't set too far back, and the tank sits nicely between your thighs so that you can squeeze down and hold. These tank pads here help too. You might want to adjust your levers a little bit in case you decide to go on some trails. Find a decent middle ground between your standing and your sitting positions, because too much on either side could be killer on your wrists.
So we've been battling down the highway since a while now, and the first thing you would notice is the slightly snatchy throttle. Stan might actually find this good in the dirt, but in the city it might get a little annoying. I've always found myself riding on a higher gear for smoother power delivery, even at low speeds. And the only drawback here is the wide handlebar and the knuckle guards, which makes it kind of difficult to squeeze through the tight gaps. Going a little faster though, things really get interesting. That big 19-inch wheel at the front really helps dampen the feel of the road in the handlebars. But you need to remember that you have that much more of rotational mass to turn around, so be careful while attacking the corners. Unlike its sibling Speed 400, the Scrambler 400X is more at home cruising at a leisure pace rather than outright corner carving.
Now, out on the dirt, the Scrambler's performance is neither here nor there. Now, this is because of two main reasons. One is the suspension. It's not as tall as your average ADV. Now, compared to the 170 to 180 mm that you would normally see, the Scrambler's wheel travel is set at 150 mm. Now, don't get me wrong, out on the street, the suspension is fire. It will smooth out all but the worst of bumps, and it will also let you hold a line in a turn. In the dirt though, a little more suspension travel would have been nice. The other thing is the tires. Now the Scrambler comes spec'd with two different tires. At the front you have the MRF Zapper Curb, and at the back you have MRF Revs. Now we didn't get to push the bike too hard, but it did have us teetering on the edge of traction on a curb. On a dry, rough patch like this one, they're okay, but they aren't really suited for mud or slushy conditions. Again, this is a Scrambler, so that's okay.
The engine is extremely refined, especially within the 3000-6000 RPM range. It'll cruise all day at 100-110 without any signs of strain. Any higher on the rev band and the vibration starts to kick in, but it's not enough to leave a buzz in your hand. Another thing is the heat management. In the city, it doesn't get so hot that you would roast a nut for Christmas. The fan is loud though, and you will hear it over the roar of traffic. That is a trade I would take any day of the week.
One saving grace is this amazing ground clearance. 195 mm is almost at par with most ATVs. This bash plate here, it adds to the bike's safety. Now, if you're traveling and you see a trail you would like to go explore, go ahead. The Scrambler is definitely going to take you anywhere you want to go, as long as it's not up a ramp and over a ravine. So, shall we talk about look?
Yep, what do you think?
Well, I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the way Triumph does old school bikes.
I agree, and the whole history lesson you gave us before, I think it actually makes sense. The Triumph Speed 400 is actually a proper speed bike, and if Triumph had to slap on a few guards and novice tires, I don't think it would have turned out so well.
Right? I mean, it makes sense that it has to function in less than ideal conditions, right? And plus, it also helps that the bike looks the part.
Another thing is the build quality. I love how Triumph has paid attention to the details. I mean, Scrambler is supposed to look all rugged and all, but the lines are so neat and joints nicely joined.
Yep, and you get the headlamp grille and these knuckle guards also as standard.
You might want to change those with, switch those with something more beautiful though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Well, that was our take on the Triumph Scrambler 400X.
So if you like the video, please hit that like button and share it with your friends.
Also, don't forget to subscribe because we will be coming out with more content.
So hit that bell icon to stay in the loop.
See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.